Welcome to Game 3 between Alliance and DK in the National 3. The winner of this will be in the top 3. The loser will drop down. They'll still be in the top 6, where they'll have to duke it out with God knows what down in the loser's bracket. And I knew it was going to be a Spectre. I knew it. Yes! I knew it. It's 1-1 right now. Alliance took Game 1. DK took Game 2. Seems that whoever has the anti-mage wins. Giving up the anti-mage to DK was not a great idea. It is one of Burning's strongest possible heroes, and I think Spectre offers a lot in the same realm that makes anti-mage work for how DK likes to play. But Alliance just could not get a foothold in Game 2. It was very close all game, but every time that Alliance took a team fight that they felt really good about, they either got picked off or the next team fight just went grossly in DK's favor. DK had a really fantastic... It wasn't... The analysts kept saying 4 protect 1, and I don't agree. I believe it was a multi-core lineup because that was a refresher Ags Vlad's on Beastmaster. His roars, his early Ags was huge for his team, and Burning got involved with his team pretty early on, which he was able to do because he had completely unmitigated free farm. He got a 20-minute Battle Fury. No, that was a 20-minute Manta-style Battle Fury. That's right. Great start for him, allowed him to be more active around the map, and that was not a good situation for Loda on Alchemist, who he had free farm too, but he started getting more involved with this team. The team fights were not going well for Alliance.
10 seconds
with some, there were really some hate to call out players. But there were a couple of mistakes from Apple Bulldog. Some missed micro where he walked back in unnecessarily into his own demise. He teleported next to Burning and just got chewed up. And mistakes like that in a game that was so close can really cost you. And also I think the one particular sleep that did not happen soon enough from EGM, things really could have been different.
10 seconds remaining.
Nonetheless, Alliance this game, they will have a mix of the draft from Game 1 and Game 2. They'll get the Bat Rider, but they'll also get the Naga Siren, and they do a really good job with the Naga Siren. They use it to engage and disengage with equal impact. It seems like they're very comfortable with this hero. They know how to make use of the sleep with maximum possible effectiveness. And they also get a pretty decent amount of farm on EGM. It seems like I always see EGM with a Heaven's Halberd. It's a little bit skewed all the games that when you're on a giant winning streak, everything you do looks like you're winning. So it's tough to say, you know, in a closer game, how quickly will he get the Heaven's Halberd. But in the previous game, got quite fast and increased his survivability quite a lot, actually baiting DK into a fight that they ended up not winning. So I like the way Alliance plays Naga Siren. They always get enough farm on the Naga and make her more useful than just a Force Staff, Arcane Boots. Not even that. I've seen far less on many Naga Sirens. Looking at you, Fnatic and IG. In any case, Alliance will ban out the anti-mage this first round. They do not want to face up against that again. But DK will grab the Spectre first round. I think this is a smart drafting decision by DK. They know that Alliance is going to ban. They're going to focus their bans on Burning because that's what has the biggest impact. And so I also think it was smart by Alliance to ban out the anti-mage. Don't give it to DK again. Don't let them do that kind of split push to you ever again. Now Spectre, the reason I was expecting it, and I also think it's a really good pick, is that Spectre kind of plays in the same way as an anti-mage. Can do really good split push, is a little bit slower to get involved in fights, and slower to farm. Does not get a Battle Fury. Not a good option for a Spectre. You don't want a Battle Fury. You've got to get something more diverse that works off of illusions. Cleave doesn't apply to illusions, by the way. But can be high impact, especially if you go for a high Desolate build. Now, I don't remember what Burning's build usually is. The last Spectre I saw was Silers on LGD. right? LGD?
Alliance's
Yes,
turn
LGD.
to pick.
And he went for a max Spectral Dagger build, which I'm not a fan of. I tend to favor the max Desolate because the first haunt you ever use will be strong if you max out that Desolate. Just regardless, because nobody's going to stop and kill the illusions, and you're going to get at least 3 auto attacks off, which can be anywhere from 50 to 65 pure damage, depending on how many ranks in Desolate you have at that point. It's a lot of damage, and you can really net your team a lot of kills and increase your presence around the map. And find kills for yourself too, don't forget about that. But Spectre plays well towards Burning Strength because he can keep farming, but he could also always be there for the team fights. DK will get an Alchemist this game. There's been an Alchemist picked in every one of these games, but this is going to be a mid-Alchemist, probably on Super.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Which, if they send Batrider mid, if Alliance sends Bat there, then Alchemist is not going to have a great time. Now, Alchemist is decent versus Batrider. Doesn't lose horribly. And it depends. There's a lot of room for individual play in there. Between the acid spray, the napalm, Alchemist has to be using the acid spray at the right times, and Batrider has to be careful about when he goes into initiate.
5 seconds
Can't really kill
remaining.
Alchemist until he hits 6 with a lasso, but it is possible, and it can be a hard lane for Alchemist, depending on how things start off, especially if there's any
10
support from
seconds
Alliance.
remaining.
Alliance, they're going to go back for the Keeper of the Light
DK's
Phantom Lancer.
turn to
They
ban.
used this versus LGD in a 78-minute game where they just slow sieged the entire base for upwards of 20 minutes and beat them down into crumbly bits. There was a base race, but I think that was
10
a
seconds
Hail Mary by LGD that just happened to, they picked up Divine at the end for Alchemists, which really helped him tear through the base. So it looked a little closer than I think it actually was. But Alliance had pretty dominant control of most of that game, and they fed a few kills they didn't have to at the end that created that base raise. I think Alliance had pretty much total control of that game. That said,
Alliance's turn to ban.
this is a predictable strategy. It's possible to handle, and I think Spectre, in terms of heroes that can deal with Phantom Lancer, is actually pretty good, depending on how you build Spectre.
10 seconds
If he goes for a
remaining.
Radiance build, Spectre is going to not do much versus Phantom
5
Lancer.
seconds
And
remaining.
in my heart of hearts, I know that Burning is going to build a Radiance, because that's what all the Chinese teams do with Spectre. You very rarely see early defusals. Sometimes they'll go for it. There was like one game where I saw it, but pretty much 99% of the time, it's going to be a Radiant Spectre, and that makes me afraid. If it's a Radiant Spectre, that Phantom Lancer comes equipped with magic resistance and does nothing to get through his illusions, you need to amp up your single target DPS with Spectre if you want to deal with a Phantom Lancer.
10
Now, Spectre's not good at dealing with Phantom Lancer, but if given that this is what they're dealing with, this is the draft they
5
have, this is
seconds
how they have to build
remaining.
Spectre if they want to beat this. They've got to get Diffusal going, got to get the Mantle Style
Reserve
going,
time.
and needs to tank up a lot of physical, a lot of effective HP is what he's going to need to survive Phantom Lancer. Could even see a Vanguard build in Spectre in this game. Very rare to see that. Vanguard has really fallen out of popularity in Dota 2 across the board. The meta is just not favoring it at all, and I think it is an underpowered item. But when you're up against a Phantom Lancer, and you also can't forget the Naga Siren illusions, that's a lot of sources of a high number of low damage sources, which Vanguard is extremely effective against. They provide tons of effective HP. So I think a Vanguard build into Diffusal for Spectre this game is the way to go. It can give him the survivability he needs to survive Phantom Lancer, and the single target DPS he needs to take out Loda one-on-one, because in a one-on-one fight, Phantom Lancer cannot beat a Spectre. With the illusions, definitely is possible. So it's going to depend on DK's ability to keep the illusions off of Spectre, and Spectre's ability to isolate Loda away from his team. So having talked about those two heroes plenty,
I speak for the trees.
DK rounded out with a Clockwork, and unfortunately, the more I look at this draft, the more concern I feel for DK up against this Phantom Lancer. tons of split push from Alliance. They actually pick up the Nature's Prophet last. I guess there's no ban from it from DK, so they're just not concerned about the Nature's Prophet this game. I think they should be, because the push from Alliance is really strong. Naga Siren, pretty good pushing hero later in the game. Keeper of the Light, Nature's Prophet, Phantom Lancer. DK is going to be stuck on their side of the map for a long period of time, and that makes this Clockwork pick pretty dubious. This is going to be a Clockwork off lane, and he's going to get Dick all. He's up against a Coddle PL combo. He's going to get harassed out before he ever gets into experience range. Cogs will do nothing for him. He's going to have trouble finding his experience, and the ability for DK to support him is pretty limited. So frankly, I think DK's draft is pretty weak right now, and Clockwork offers no AoE, Chen offers no AoE, Acid Spray is all that Alchemist offers. Now he could build a Battle Fury in this game, and he may have to, but Rubik, no AoE, no way to deal with these illusions, and normally against a Phantom Lancer, I don't think that's actually that much of a problem. People overestimate the need to destroy Phantom Lancer illusions. All you have to do is kill Phantom Lancer himself. You get single target DPS, Lifestealer, he does great versus Phantom Lancer. And he has basically no AoE. But their single target DPS, it's okay. It will depend a lot on what Burning build. But the ability for Alliance to keep them off of Loda, and the ability for Alliance to non-stop siege their towers and their base,
30 seconds to battle.
In that circumstance, you definitely do need AoE. You need something like a gyrocopter. You need something mobile, something that can get past the waves of illusions that are coming towards you, that can stop them from wailing on your buildings. And DK has none of that right now. Absolutely none. So I think this is a strong draft from Alliance. It's very reliable. They have good team fight. They're very reliant on Loda getting his farm.
The battle begins.
No, not very reliant, but pretty reliant. He needs to have a good start this game. And it looks like they're even going to go for an aggressive tri-lane, which, if it works out for Alliance, I think this is a brilliant idea. Slowing down the Spectre even further, giving a good start to their other solo lanes, especially Amber Bulldog. He's not had some... I mean, game 1 was fine for him. He had a slow start, but that was expected in the solo offlane. So it won't be a suicide lane Clockwork, which is good news for DK, but should still lose to the Nature's Prophet. And this is it's just such a strong aggressive tri-lane from Alliance. Coddle PL. It's so good. The only concern is, oh my god, Burning! He could be given first blood here. One more right click from Burning, from Loda. The Spirit Lance is going to fly out. He will cancel the salve, and Burning will live, but that's a lot of regen that he's just burned through. One more right click, and he would have died. A slight bit of miss micro there from Loda. He hesitated on the Lance, and he would have been able to cancel probably even like a full second or more of Burning salve. So, unfortunate misplay there, but it's a strong start to this aggressive tri-lane, and I think it demonstrates what makes it so good. They just need to get level 2 on Aki as soon as possible. The Chakra Magic is critical to making this work. That may be why Loda was waiting on the Lance, simply because he now has no mana for anything else. So this lane, I believe, favors Alliance. Over in mid, we got S4 on Batrider versus Super's Alchemist. And as mentioned, it's going to be a close matchup. Alchemist should be able to get some farm, but I believe in the end it favors Batrider simply because he's a ranged hero, he's got the sticky Napalm, and Napalm is rough versus melee heroes. If he's constantly throwing down the acid spray and he's bottle crowing, he should be able to get some last hits, and all of the experience he needs. But as it goes forward, especially if there's multiple levels, as there are in sticky Napalm, then S4 should win this lane. Down the bottom, we got Amber Bulldog and Nature's Prophet versus ROTK's Clockwork. ROTK will get all of his experience. He's not going to get zoned out, but he's going to take a lot of harass from these treants. And trapping Amber Bulldog inside a cog, if he's got the treants with him, the battery assault is not going to be nearly so much a concern. So another relatively even lane. I don't expect either one to be chasing each other out of the lane, but I expect Amber Bulldog to be on top somewhat here. And introducing the last lane, which I spent a lot of time talking about, but didn't introduce the players. We got QQQ on Chen, occasionally rotating in the jungle. Not easy for Chen to do versus a lane like this. Lots of damage, and of course, the Illuminate, such a bother for Chen's creeps. We'll have MMY on Rubik and Burning Spectre versus Loda on PL. Phantom Lancer, EGM's Naga once more. We've seen a lot of EGM Naga recently, and Aki on Keeper of the Light. So the early stats here already favoring Alliance. Loda is sitting at 11-10 versus 5-0 on Burning. Burning's not going to have a very good start this game, and there's not a lot of ability to recover from this. Something that's very effective about aggressive tri-lanes versus a hero like Spectre is that he is not good at flash farming. He's not going to just say, okay, you know, I'm going to have a rough first 10 minutes. I'll just come back from this like an anti-mage with a Battle Fury, like a Shadow Fiend who gets ganked twice and then is able to go farm waves with his raids. No such abilities for Spectre, and he is maxing the Spectral Dagger. Talk about that more later. So giving him a slow start is really going to hamper DK's ability to hold on in this game. They're going to be so reliant on Super and ROTK to make any of the DPS, to make any of the initiation for them. MMY is actually getting pretty decent levels so far. I expected him to be more under-leveled than he is, but thanks to QQQ, who is thinking about... Oh, he D-wards here. Oh, can he D-ward it in time? Nope. They both go down. So he manages to D-ward just in time. He has this this Dark Troll Summoner, and it's a threatening creep to have. But I don't think Alliance actually have to be all that afraid. It's mostly just a scare for Aki. I mean, he's got 450 HP, and this is the thing about Max Spectral Dagger, is that if you want to find a kill, it is kind of necessary. But doesn't even use it on a hero there. Kind of a waste of mana, and he has no mana regen available. Like, there's no Basilius in this lane, so I don't know about that. QQ spends more time up at top. He could just be feeding a creep here. And in fact, the lances... Ooh, over in mid. S4 picks up a solo kill onto Super. Oh, and QQQ just feeds his creeps. Free experience for this aggressive tri-lane. And we'll chase him out of the lane. Plus he loses his favorite creep. Another advantage of the Keeper of the Light in aggressive tri-lane. Stealing pulls. So yeah, the Spectral Dagger build on Spectre. I've seen a lot of teams do this. I don't know why. Spectral Dagger is probably the worst scaling skill in the game. It's not that Spectral Dagger's bad. It's a really good ability. But when you go from level 1 to level 2, you increase the mana cost by 10, the damage by 50, and your movement speed by 4%. That's not much. And, I mean, you're going up from 130 mana all the way up to 160 if you max it. You've only got 300 mana on Spectre. It's really, really not a good spell to be spamming. Although, there's a lift onto EGM. Wow! Easy kill, QQQ with a Test of Faith. Finishes him off. Alliance not doing much to support EGM there, but not much they could do once the telekinesis came out. But I will note there that that's completely unnecessary for Burning to have multiple levels in Spectral Dagger to find that kill. He could have just had Desolate. It was a telekinesis that brought it home. So the other problem I have is that Spectral Dagger is, I mean, it's an AoE, but you're really only going to hit it on one person, unless you're really lucky. Desolate is an AoE because it works on your Haunt illusions, as well as your anti-style illusions, all of your illusions. So as soon as you hit 6, you could be applying, you know, at a bare minimum 20 pure damage, all the way up to 65 pure damage, to 5 heroes simultaneously. That's 325 damage. Oh, there's a net under Burning. Are they going to go on this? No, they're not. Man, I got really excited about that. Ooh, down the bottom. Super's rotating down. Our Bulldog, carefully positioned here. Does not have vision of this. All the trees have been destroyed by Admiral Bulldog himself, which will give him vision. Which is a pretty smart idea for Admiral Bulldog to do that. So he sees Super. He gets the hell out. In terms of this bottom lane, Admiral Bulldog, he's at 40-14 versus 36-4 in RTK. So Admiral Bulldog's winning the lane a little bit, but not overwhelmingly so. It's a pretty good start for RTK. Oh, the concoction's flying out on Admiral Bulldog. The haunt is used by Burning. He's going to teleport in, and he'll pick up the last hit here. An easy kill. However, a lasso onto Burning, pulling him underneath the tower. This could be a costly teleport for Burning. A TP coming in from Loda. He wants to finish off these heroes. The concoction is flying out from Super. But Loda, he pops the Doppelwalk just in time. Any more right clicks, and he would have gone down. Now up at top, MMY picks up a solo kill onto EGM. RTK, he cogs up. It's just going to push S4 away. And now the concoction's charging up from Super. He's on the run. Any more right clicks from Burning, and he will go down. Super picks up the kill there. Oh, our Bulldog, one more. Oh, the Wrath of Nature just not quite making it work. 30 HP. He thought he could do it. A shield proc there was definitely the difference between life and death. Or close to it. Plus, I mean, he's also got the treads. That's really the big difference maker. So, kind of a convenient rotation for Alliance anyways. I think they decide, hey, well, let's just send Loda down to the offlane. Maybe they'll return to their original lanes, but they don't really have to. They can send Admiral Bulldog up top if they want. And they can put him into the jungle. They don't have to bother with this lane anymore. They've given Burning.
Dire's bottom tower is
It was a slow start, but 3 kills, or well, 1 kill and 3 assists, will really help that out. And one thing I want to note there is that I didn't see what happened up top with a kill on EGM, but I guarantee you, Burning's illusions had something to do with it, which is why he has 3 assists right now. He's actually only involved with 3 total. He doesn't get gold from those assists because he's not in range. You have to be within experience range to get gold, unless there's unless the gold is split among assists, such as in cases where Dire or Radiant get the credit for the kill. So those assists don't actually convert to extra gold or experience for him. But despite being an aggressive tri-lane, EGM actually has decent levels. Level 5 right now, 10 minutes in. Same thing for Ake. I would have expected a little worse for Alliance, but because they had good control of the lane, ooh, Super. He's going to get netted up. There's a haste rune on S4, so this is a pretty easy kill. There's a haunt used by Burning. Doesn't look like he's going to use it to any effect. There's no counter initiation here. MMY, he'll get picked off as well. Double kill for S4. That's his Blink Dagger. 10 minutes in, and Tranquil's pretty good start for S4, and Alliance will go to work on the mid-tier 1.
Dire's structures are fortified.
In terms of how mid turned out, since the laning phase is just about to end, it's 58-10 on S4 versus 42-6 on Super. So Super did a pretty good job there. He kept up, he found his farm, and he created some kills down at bottom. So overall, this mid Alchemist pick is working out for DK right now. We'll have to see how it goes. How it goes in the future. Actually, say Nature's Prophet is not great versus Spectre. Can really suffer from Desolate. I mean, you're only sitting on less than 800 HP right now, and the Treants, the Sprout, do nothing to stop Spectre because he can just go right through them. One of the great things about Spectral Dagger. Does look to be a phased drums build on Burning. Kind of holding out for the Vanguard build, but I would be surprised to see it. It's old school. Nobody does Vanguard these days anymore. At the very least, a 4-man shield would be very efficient. Smoke up here by DK. They're thinking about, oh, Admiral Bulldog. Goodbye, Admiral Bulldog. This should be a pretty easy kill. He sprouts himself up. Oh, a nice response from S4, but immediate telekinesis by MMY brings him on the other side of the cogs, putting him in a bad position. The Flame Break will push them back for the time being. RE2K, he's gone down, but there's immediate buyback from Admiral Bulldog. Hand of God gets used to keep Burning up for the time being, but Admiral Bulldog does manage to pick off Burning. So great buyback from Admiral Bulldog. S4, he's still in the middle of this. MMY, he will drop to the Spirit Lance from Loda. A great fight for Alliance. It looked like a really good start for DK. Particularly MMY. That was a big play by him. I thought that was going to have a higher impact. Telekinesis on S4 right as he gets the lasso off, pulls him outside of RTK's cogs onto the near side towards DK so that he gets hit with the cogs push. But it just didn't quite turn out. Now the sleep gets popped by EGM. There's multiple TPs here from DK.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Alliance should be able to disengage fairly well. There's no hook shot, not for 18 seconds. So great sleep by Alliance. They'll waste a lot of TPs from DK, but they may just group up onto this top tier 1. We'll see if Alliance tries to challenge it. They do. I mean, they still got Coddle PL. It's very easy for them to spam out these waves. And very frustrating, especially until there's a mech up on QQQ. Really needs that mech if he wants to go up against this this Keeper of the Light. And they are not able to push, especially because the lasso off cooldown in about 3 seconds. So great buyback from Abba Bulldog there. That was definitely a difference maker in that fight, and it's a factor that always have to keep in mind. One of the reasons that Keeper of the Light used to be a first ban support, particularly in like 6.77, 6.76, I think those were his heydays where he was getting picked every single game, and boy did it. I like Keeper of the Light, but it did get a little boring to see him over and over again. But what people value about him is not actually his anti-push, which is good, but it's all about the recall. If someone dies and they have buyback, and they immediately buy back, oh, lasso on MMY. It's a free kill for Alliance. There could be a hookshot here from RTK. Will he go for it? Actually, Song is stolen by MMY. Huge steal. Did not see him take that earlier on. Great for him. RTK, he hookshots onto Aki. It's an easy kill for DK, but RTK, he's inside. A lot of the damage could potentially get finished off. No. The illusions from Loda, not quite enough, and the Hand of God gets popped. RTK will make it out of this. Just barely. So great steal from MMY. Big plays. Helping his team out big time there, and saving himself, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Plus, I mean, on the back of that, the counter initiation onto Aki. Aki is a nice juicy target. Super easy to kill. But yeah, as I was saying with Keeper of the Light, you can buy back and then just get recalled back into the fight, and it's like having an Aegis, and sometimes even better because you can bait fights using that. And that's completely outside of the synergies between Coddle and PL. So that's just why. I mean, people are picking Keeper of the Light in every single lineup all the time because of how much he offers. He does work in so many tri-lanes. Great anti-push hero.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
S4 has got to smoke up here. Looking for a kill. He could potentially catch Burning. He does have Haunt right now. Oh, it's going to be a lasso onto QQQ. Going to go for the easier kill. Are they able to finish him off? The Illuminate from Ake actually shows up at the very end there. So a nice gank from Alliance. Keep down the Chen. It's going to be a long time before he gets any mech. There's a Buckler. Actually, is this a mech on Alchemist? It is a mech on Alchemist. So there will be a mech in decent time for DK, which I think this is a very appropriate adjustment. An early mech is much stronger than a later mech, and even if it goes onto a hero like Alchemist. I basically rescinded any of my concerns about seeing Alchemist on, or seeing Mechanism on carry heroes after that Liquid versus LGD game where TC's Razor with Mechanism just would not die. And I think it works pretty decently for Alchemist since he does have decent mana regen with his Chemical Rage.
Dire's bottom tower.
Plus, it increases his survivability a lot. That said, it does drop his DPS by a pretty fair chunk. So it can be a problem for him. But it does make him naturally tanky, regardless of whether he has the Chemical Rage activated. And being a melee hero, he tends to be in the thick of things. So it puts less pressure on QQQ. All he needs to do is micro his creeps and get the Hand of God off. 7-6 at 17 minutes in. It's a pretty close game so far. Actually, are there no towers down in this game so far? There are no towers. I think this is one of the longer instances of not seeing a tower go down. It's kind of surprising from both teams. I guess it maybe not so much from the DK hasn't managed to take any towers because they're up against the Keeper of the Light, and Aki managed to get enough levels and Illuminate early on to provide the anti-push. And pushing against the Keeper of the Light is just such a pain in the ass. You really have to take him out. But the mechanism is finished on Super now, and both teams are smoked up right now. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna find anybody. Neither team has vision into the enemy jungle right now. In fact, very few wards on the map. Period. So, kind of unlikely they're gonna find anything. Burning. He's got that vitality booster, but it's been pretty common to see the casual vitality booster
Flares here.
much later turned into a heart.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So maybe it'll be the
Dire's
Vanguard?
top tower is
Maybe?
under attack.
I can still hope, right? I mean, not that Vanguard is an exciting item. Like, not like, yeah, Vanguard.
Radiant's middle
But
tower is under attack.
I do think it's really a
Dire's top tower
optimal
is
choice
under attack.
for him in this game. Loader needs to be careful here. Now, in fact, his illusion will walk straight into
And it's off.
DK on the
Bottom
side there.
tower is under attack.
As long as Loader doesn't get hookshot, he should be okay.
With me.
Admiral Bulldog's up at top.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Gonna
attack.
go to work on that top tier 1. This could be the first tower of the game going down. A lot of time spent for DK grouped up. This is all time that Alchem's gonna be farming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Good deny. Down at bottom by burning.
Dire's
Actually, there was no
top
challenge there,
tower
so I
has
guess it's
fallen.
maybe not the hardest deny. But 2 towers going on the side, going down on the side of DK, and their mid tier 1 is pretty low. If Alliance can manage to get rid of these outer towers, I think they'll be in a good advantage position. But until then, I think it's going to be pretty close. Although actually, they're getting a lot more out of the map right now. I think in no small part because of the amount of time that DK has just spent grouped up. It's going to be close to 6,000, 7,000 gold in their favor, and almost 5,000 experience. So DK are starting to fall behind, and that makes me feel pretty concerned for them. I thought it was more even than it was, but oh, Loda, he's gonna walk straight into a smoke gank. He's just gonna, yeah, he's done for. No chance.
It's different time.
And he even walked over a sentry ward. DK had all the warning they could possibly ask for. Alliance will try to make something happen mid, but no such luck. Concoction popped by Super. No gem here for S4. Blinks away. He'll be safe. It's a self-stun. Although, actually, Admiral Bulldog managed to finish off the tower with his treants, so all the other towers are removed from the map for DK.
Come to
Do it.
And that's where things really start to get scary for them, because the split push can begin. Admiral Bulldog, he's got his Shadow Blade up, his Midas, his Phase. He's got
Dire's
everything he
top
needs
tower
to
is under
start
attack.
moving around the map, stealing the farm from DK, and forcing DK to respond to his pushes. And DK really don't have the ability to do that. Which this goes back to my original concerns about DK's draft. The clockwork is decent at initiating onto Nature's Prophet, but
Dire's top tower is under
it's, I mean, he can't do it alone. He needs someone to help him take down that Nature's Prophet.
Radiant's
Spectre
bottom
can haunt
tower
in,
is
but you
under
really don't
attack.
want to be using haunt just to kill
Dire's top tower is
just to
under
kill one
attack.
hero. It's most efficient for team fights. Haunt is the sort of cooldown that,
Radiant structures are fortified.
yeah, this looks to be a tower trade going in favor of Alliance. It's a tier 1 for tier 2.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Although, will they be able to finish it off quite in
Radiant's
time?
bottom
The sleep is
tower
used by EGM. I guess they're just going to TP out. Yeah, they decide, no,
Dire's top tower has
no, let's not
fallen.
do this. And actually very nicely positioned by EGM, only letting one of DK out while the Treants and the Illusions finished off the tower. So that's a top tier 2. Tier 1 does go down bottom, but that's not too much of a concern for Alliance. They're going to be keeping their lanes pushed out from this point forward. And that is how they'll maintain control of their own jungle. Loda is going for a defusal early. In fact, he has it right now once it gets delivered. But yeah, DK's ability to respond to split push is just not that great. Totally dependent on the clockwork to catch Nature's Prophet. But Alliance can split push multiple lanes. They don't have the AoE, they don't have the ability to spam out these waves and keep them off their side of the map. Which, if you want to static farm waves, it's great. If you have the ability to just sit in a lane and let your carry, stand there all day. Oh, there's a lasso on ROTK. There's a concoction immediately thrown out, but it's a very short duration. Hook shot out from ROTK. He's able to escape from this, and actually the aggression is thwarted from Alliance. Another haunt used to no effect, which means that Burning is stuck up here. Does appear to be a Radiance on Burning. For the reasons I talked about during the draft, I don't think this is the item he should be going for. I think he's going to need more early game strength. He's going to need more single target DPS to help deal with Phantom Lancer, and I don't think Radiance is actually going to help him in pushing out these waves all that much. I mean, it helps with creeps. It does not help with Phantom Lancer illusions, because there's no way that Burning can stand in the middle of that. And already, I mean, you can see Loda's got illusions down at bottom, forces Burning to go down there. But they're already over at mid. And they can go to work on the mid tier 2. Fortify is available for DK. Oh, it's a hook shot onto Admiral Bulldog. He's got his Shadow Blade. Force Staff out by Admiral Bulldog. Gets him out of the cogs, and so he'll survive. Nice Illuminate onto 3. Hand of God is used, but RTK will go down. There's a lasso onto Super. S4 finding the lassos. Immediate buyback from RTK. He wants to get back in this fight, but he has no more. Ooh, Flame Break onto 3. The Spirit Lance getting thrown out. In fact, illuminates Loda. He wants to find more kills here. He knows that he can. MMY. He's got to juke this. Flame Break actually thrown out by MMY. Will they find him? He's actually going to be able to make it out okay. But Admiral Bulldog shows up from the side. He tries to finish off QQQ. And Admiral Bulldog will just make it out. RTK, he's inside the cogs, trapped with Loda. Not a place that he wants to be. Admiral Bulldog does in fact finish off MMY. RTK makes it out alive just barely. Oh, well, not for much longer. One more right click from S4. It's a great fight for Alliance. How many buybacks was that? Only one buyback from RTK, but he does die a second time. And that's very costly for DK. A lot of wasted time from Burning. Trying to get involved in these fights, and actually, he didn't even have the haunt for most of that fight, which could have been a turnaround tool if he did. Because he does now have max Desolate. He's gotten his levels up. So he's got the easily available damage and HP that his skills provide. But nevertheless, a really good engagement for Alliance. They force out a buyback. They get some damage onto the mid tier 2. And they further their lead by quite a bit. They're going to be hitting 12,000 gold pretty soon here. Extending past 7,500 experience. Now the one thing about Radiance that is really good is that Keeper of the Light is going to be dying solo to Haunt Illusions. At least as the game goes forward. Keeper of the Light has one of the lowest base strengths in the game. You can't really tank him up. He will get a mechanism relatively soon, so that's the ray of hope for him. But these illusions are going to tear him up, and it's one of the things that's great about Spectre. It's similar to an anti-mage, that he's very capable at taking out supports without actually committing to a fight. Looks to be a Mance style coming up on Loda, since he's picked up another Blade of Alacrity after that defusal. Ooh, there's a lasso. On to Burning. On to Burning. Hand of God will keep him up for a little bit longer, but S4 diving into the base, catching Burning out, and Burning, he just bought his relics. He has no buyback right now. Probably wouldn't want to anyways, but I think this mid tier 2 may not last very long. Loda's even, I mean, he's being a giant pain in the ass. He's just sticking around this top lane and throwing his illusions in and forcing someone to hang around.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures
Fortify is pop for the time being, but that's just going to delay the inevitable here. Mid tier 2 is going to drop, and Alliance will take 4 tower lead. Super walks in, he starts charging Concoction, lands onto S4. No lasso here for 20 seconds. Emma Bulldog manages to finish off the tower. I think Alliance can start thinking about Roche here. They have the Song of Siren available. They may want to wait for level 11 on EGM, just so they have Song on a shorter cooldown. Do they have the mechanism up on... yes, Aki's got his mechanism. Everything's starting to come together for Alliance. Also, I really like that 4-step pickup on Emerald Bulldog. That really countered RTK very nicely in that that previous fight where he died twice. 4-staffing himself out of cogs. It's an important item to have, and it's not just for himself, but also for his team. And in terms of, I mean, Clockwork has been considered a counter pick to Nature's Prophet, but if he gets gets a Force Staff, it's not such a problem. So, good knowledge there by our Bulldog. As Force got his lasso off cooldown. Super, he's got the self-stun. Oh, actually, he manages to find an illusion in time. That's an unfortunate thing for Alchemist in this game, is that lots of illusion heroes should have a decent time preventing the self-stuns.
Flares here.
eSports had a pretty good game so far, finding lots of lassos. He's got his Force Staff and Blink Dagger. He'll probably get his BKB next, because that's really the only thing that DK can do to stop him. And, I mean, ROTK, he can counter-initiate with the hookshot and Cogs, but the Cogs don't stop Batrider. Not one bit. Still only one tower in favor of, or for DK right now. They're behind by 4 total. And the bottom tier 1, we'll see how long it lasts. As Force hunting. There's no one nearby quite yet for Alliance. So it's a bit of a dangerous hunt. Yasha up on Loda. He's pretty much got his Manta style finished. In fact, I think he has it exactly done right this moment. He'll probably save for buyback simply because they've got that recall on Keeper of the Light, and buyback can really be a big turnaround tool. It's a 29-minute Radiance for burning. This is his first significant item. Did not go for the phase drums, goes for a casual Vit booster, and then straight for a Radiance. So, burning is at least a little more impactful now. He'll be able to farm much faster, which is one of the reasons that Radiance is popular on Spectre. As critical as I am, stun is charging up from Super, but he's not going to be able to find anybody. Throws it out onto Illusion. As mentioned, he will be stunning himself less than the average Alchemist in this game. So the Radiance certainly does help with farming, but given how, I mean, they're up against a split push lineup, the lanes are always pushed on their side, so they're not, he's not necessarily in a rush to burn the creeps. I mean, it definitely speeds things up. You can't underestimate how much something like a Battle Fury or a Radiance can actually increase your farming speed, because it helps quite a lot. But I'm a fan of the more aggressive Spectre, the one that can get more involved early. And Radiance, as much damage as it provides, is not enough for him yet. He's going to need probably 2 full more items before he can really withstand these team fights. Our Bulldog's just about to finish his Sheep Stick, 31 minutes in. It is a Shadow Blade on Super. He's gotten multiple points of Grievel's Greed now that it passed the 10-minute mark. The 10-minute mark, the 20-25-minute mark where he's gotten some levels. Have not seen a lot out of Super this game. He did have a couple good early kills, but I just don't know. I mean, DK, I think the only way they can make this work is by finding pickoffs, but Alliance, they're just not going to allow it to happen. They're just constantly keeping the lanes pushed in, and I mean, Batrider, he can juke all the time. Of course, Phantom Lancer. It's a very similar lineup to what Alliance had in Game 1, and they run it very effectively. Ooh, S4. Just thinking about finding Lasso. Loda's not too far off. Loda's opted to upgrade his Diffusal now that he's got the Manta style finished. Oh, there's a Lasso onto QQQ. A nice, easy target. The Haunt gets used by burning, but to no effect, and there's no hookshot from ROTK. Does not land. So the Lasso scares QQQ, forces the Hand of God out, as well as the Haunt. Which really, that's pretty good for a Lasso. Lasso's a much shorter cooldown, and those are both very high impact ults. So Alliance, I think they feel pretty comfortable grouping up down on bottom. EGM, he's got his halberd finished, sheepstick finished on Emperor Bulldog. Everything's looking good here for Alliance. Oh my god, they're nearly 20,000 gold ahead. Getting into 20,000 experience. They're getting so much more out of this farm. It's one of the great things about split push lineups. If you force the other team to group as 5, they're getting way less out of the map. Way less. And that's the unfortunate thing about DK's lineup is that as a 5-man lineup, it's not that strong. Spectre's honestly probably the best part of it. Oh, S4 pops the Firefly. He's thinking about it. No vision up there just yet for them. Oh, but there's the lasso onto Super. He force stabs his way out. It's going to be an easy kill for Alliance. Does he have buyback? No, he does not. Super is out for 50 seconds. Alliance, they can work on the tier 3 or they can go take Roche. I think Roche is probably the easier option. Getting into the base is still a little bit difficult until they've got a little bit more items up. They basically just need one more item on Loda before his potential for siege gets pretty ridiculous. But honestly, at this point, this looks very similar to the LGD Alliance game, except in this game, Alliance have even more of a lead. I don't think Alliance were this far ahead in the previous game. 180,000 spectators. And this is where things really start to dwindle down for DK. Where can they go in their own jungle? Where can anyone but Burning find farm? Maybe Super can find a little bit. He's got that Shadow Blade. He can escape. Potentially. Is there a gem up? There is no gem currently for Alliance. I think it's the only mistake. Oh, there's a lasso on ROTK. Can he hookshot his way away from this? Burning pops the haunt, but it just doesn't matter. Not even a bit. Super, he throws out the concoction but says, no, fuck that. I'm not getting anywhere near that fight. And so another haunt used to no effect. I guess I shouldn't stress that so much because it's only 120-second cooldown in terms of the scheme. In terms of most ultimates, that's not that long. But in terms of stopping this push, it's quite relevant. They would much rather have it when they're ready to fight. Super's back up. This will be the first concoction I've actually seen on a hero in a while, rather than illusion. Lasso is back up in 20 seconds, however. And look at all the damage they can just easily deal to the tier 3s. All of DK's tier 3s have started taking damage, and I mean, there's still 2 tier 1s up right now for Alliance. That's how little map control DK have had for this entire game. It's only going to get worse. There's a Reaver up on Loda. He's working towards that heart. Since he's got that Aegis, is not concerned about saving for buyback right now. Oh, there's a lasso onto Super. S4 is finding the hooks for the lassos. RTK, he tries to hookshot in. Doesn't even manage to get the cogs off in time before he gets sheeped. And Burning, he's snared. He's going to drop here. Oh, the Hand of God will keep him up. Actually, Burning just barely walks out. So Alliance, they managed to find a kill there. What's that? No buybacks in that fight.
Dire's bottom tower
But
is under attack.
S4 continues to find these lassos constantly. Constantly. Not a whole lot to say about that, outside of he keeps finding them. And DK, they don't have any way to counter-initiate. Like, the only immediate response stun they have is telekinesis and hookshot from ROTK. Those are not good enough. That's not a Shadow Demon Disruption. That's not an OD in Prison. That's not a Vengeful Spirit swap. And I believe multiple of those supports were available for DK in this draft. I really have to wonder. I mean, Rubik is sort of the catch-all support. It's hard to... Oh no, another lasso. On to Super once more. He's gonna get blasted down. Wow. S4. More lassos, and really just the positioning from... Oh, Hammer Bulldog teleports in. He puts the sheep onto ROTK. The haunt is popped by burning. The sleep comes out from EGM. Smart play here from Alliance. They realize they're dropping a little bit low. Oh my god. That was a big play. The sleep just comes off of QQQ as the Illuminate flies out. Now EGM will pay for this with his life. And there will be no more aggression here from Alliance, at least for the moment. They still got this Aegis for like 2 minutes. But, I mean, that maybe wasn't a big play. They took a Chen with that. But EGM walks away, and the Illuminate, as it's charging up, just releases as EGM pulls off of QQQ, and the sleep is removed, and QQQ is finished off with the Illuminate. Little things like that. That's how you know it's TI3. But the kill on EGM, he's a pretty important component of Alliance's draft, so not having him will mean they go back to farming for a little bit, but they're still, I mean, they're reaching into the 25,000 range. I mean, DK are so far behind. And there's the heart on Loda. He can now siege. He's... Oh my god. I can only assume that was another lasso, and it was. MMY gets picked off, and QQQ... Goodbye, QQQ. He pops the Hand of God, even. Blink back from S4. Very smart play there. Does not want to get gone on. And the illusions from Loda. Can they finish him off? Smart cogs from ROTK will save his teammate because one more right click from Loda's illusions and they would have... I mean, they're getting chased off by a single illusion. This is the power of Heart. They start working on the mid-tier 3. The Fortify has been used. Oh, burning. He's going to get ensnared. Do they have the damage necessary? The illusions, that's all that it takes. Oh, super. He stuns himself. He mistimes the concoction as he comes in. And burning, he's going to go down. He will immediately buy back. He's got the haunt. Super drops as well. It's going to be a pretty good haunt for burning. But is it enough? QQQ, he's getting torn up by these illusions. There's just everyone on the run. And Loda, even if he drops here, he's got an Aegis. And down goes burning for the second time. Honestly, I think it's game right there. DK, they don't have burning for 70 seconds. Oh my god. Hammer Bulldog comes from behind. He's got an MKB. He hits like a truck. It's actually a triple kill for Hammer Bulldog. But GG is called. 40 minutes in. It's 23-8. DK never had a foothold in this game. It wasn't a stomp, but Alliance, they kept their top and mid-tier 1s up the entire game. They never left DK's side of the map, and DK, they just didn't have any anti-push. I mean, what an outdrafting. I think they perhaps they felt that, you know, they picked the Chen. They feel that this is a hero we're good with. We're denying a pick to them, so we don't have to ban it. We can make use of it. But never once did we see QQQ create opportunities for his team, and I don't think that if it was really his fault. It's just that the aggressive tri-lane from Alliance, even though it didn't succeed wildly, it slowed burning down a little bit, and it also really hurt the farm for QQQ and MMY. They did their best, but a lot of creeps got stolen by the Illuminate, and once, I mean, if the enemy is occupying your side of the map, Chen is a useless hero. You cannot get your creeps back, or you're constantly losing them. You can't get in position. You can't surprise anybody. Like, Chen is basically worthless for base defense. You have to play aggressive, and DK did not pick an aggressive lineup, nor did they skill aggressively. Another reason I would have liked to see Vanguard and Spectre is if you go for the Max Desolate build, and you get the Vanguard, you're not only survivable throughout, you know, for a lot of what Phantom Lancer offers, but you can dive towers. You can join ROTK with those hook shots. You can help make opportunities with Super for him to get a Shadow Blade and to make things happen around the map, but they had no map control. They went passive, and they pay for it. They're dropping down to the lower bracket. Great play by Alliance. They played it their way. This is a pretty classic Alliance draft at this point. They love their Coddle PL, and they play it really well. Up next is Tongfu versus Na'Vi.